For decades, the Koreans have been trying to compete with the upper-level Japanese cars, and today we have two models that might just do that. First up is the Hyundai Azera. We'll also be looking at the Kia Cadenza. You know, I keep wondering, what's up with these weird names? Azera. Is that the generic version of Viagra? And on Seinfeld, wasn't his buddy George Cadenza? Just kidding. Now the Hyundai Azera is a nice looking car. In fact, 2 weeks before this, I was driving some Lexus LS 460s, one with the same paint color, and individuals thought I was still driving the same car. Of course, this H emblem on the grille kind of gives things away, but that's no problem. Just tell them the H stands for High Performance Lexus. And I like to stand outside and show you more of the car with 114 degrees temperature and bad humidity in August in Arizona. That just ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna sit in here. So let's read the price sticker and see all the goodies we're getting here. Let's see, we got leather trim, a 293 horsepower V6, 6-speed automatic, all kinds of fancy sound equipment. I can't read all this, I'll be here all day. Let's just say you get about everything for $32,230. And of course they have the technology package, which includes 19-inch alloy wheels, Panavision sunroof. Hey, this is a luxury car, shouldn't be called a moonroof. Air-conditioned seats, blah blah blah. Bottom line, the whole price came down to $37,225.60. And of course, considering the discounts Hyundai usually gives, you might be able to snag this for around $34,000. That's a lot of car for the money. Well, I think. Of course, we haven't driven this yet. Now let's get to that after we look at the interior. Now, if you have a magnifying glass, you might be able to find some cheap plastic in the cabin, but overall, from this distance, it looks pretty good. In fact, not quite up to the Lexus standards, but pretty close, just from the visual standpoint. Glove box is just average size. We have a very nice looking interior, and all the controls are very simple, easy to use. Very impressive. I never thought Hyundai could make something like this. By the way, this sunroof is gigantic. Covers both the front and the rear. Nice if you need a tan, I suppose. And the technology package includes the bulletproof screen for dodging bullets. Okay, just a sunscreen. I pull this gag every time I do a car with this. Ha ha. Even though this is a V6, I think this is all the passing power you're ever going to need. Nice brakes, by the way. Now, if you're looking for a vehicle that's got sport sedan handling, you're not going to find it here. This car is a little bit too nose heavy. That's the bad news. The good news is they put their money into providing a very solid body and nice comfortable suspension, making this a nice highway car, making it a nice traveling car when you're going back around the country clubs and golf courses like I am now. This nice fancy neighborhood where people will mistake this for a Lexus with an H on the hood. Speed bump. Went right over it, no problem. Nice, solid car. In their advertisements, Hyundai likes comparing the Azera to the Lexus. This isn't a Lexus, but hey, you can always pretend. It does come a little close, but certainly not in price. Good thing for you. Did find one design flaw with this car, which we can see if we look at the door. You notice on the bottom half how the door line goes up totally vertical, but when you get to the top half, it runs off at an angle about 8 inches to the right. Now this can be a problem. Say you're coming out at night, you're not looking, boom, this can hit you right in the kisser, or if you're a short person, it might get you right in the eye. And I know this because another manufacturer made a door like this some years ago, and I know a person that almost put their eye out with this. Not a good idea. So you open this door in the dark, remember to step aside. Not a very intelligent design, but hey, I guess Hyundai thought it looked good, right? I've been driving the Azera for over a week now, and have to say I'm very impressed. They've done a very nice job here. Very smooth, comfortable riding car. I think once the word gets out, they're going to sell a lot of these, especially if they discount the price. Now we'll get back to the Kia Cadenza. If you look at this from any angle, it's a nice looking car. Looks like they got a bit of Jaguar in the front end here. I detect a bit of BMW 7 Series from the side. Perhaps a little bit of BMW Audi from the rear. Like the Hyundai Azera, the front door comes at an angle, just waiting to hit you right in the nose some night. Looks good, but a bit hazardous, I think. Standard engine is a 3.3 liter V6. Rated at 19 to 28 miles per gallon, average 22. I got 26 on the highway and I'm averaging 21.5. It's hooked to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Kia did an excellent job with this interior. It's very plush. Of course, we ordered every option there is, but the materials and workmanship is excellent. The glove box is decent sized. Very nice overall, and there's plenty of room in the rear seat here. All the controls are simple to use, and a well-designed gauge cluster. The Kia engineers did a great job on the suspension. It's nice and firm, yet very comfortable, more like a German car than a Korean car. Very impressive. The steering's a bit over-assisted, but it's quick and responsive, so most people will like it. The brakes are firm and responsive as well. The engine doesn't have much power on the bottom end. Once you get around 3,000 RPM, things pick up pretty fast. Guess I can mention those excellent brakes again. Let's take a minute and check out the price, which starts at $35,100. Then we have the technology package with smart cruise control, blind spot detection, lane departure warning, electronic parking brake, 19-inch alloy wheels, $3,000. And for another $3,000, we get the luxury package with panoramic sunroof, leather seating, air-conditioned seats, heated steering wheel, telescopic steering column, and the power rear window sunshade. A lot of stuff there for $3,000, and the total came to $41,900. Of course, you get the usual Kia discount, so you can probably get it for a lot less. A lot of car here for the money. This is a very nice car. Hard to choose between this and the Hyundai Azera. A lot of value for the money on both. Both the Hyundai Azera and Kia Cadenza were intended to compete with other vehicles like Honda and Toyota. But in terms of engineering performance, I think they really compete with upper-level cars like Infiniti, Lexus, and Acura. So with that in mind, we searched for an upgraded Japanese car, and Acura was kind enough to supply us with an RLX. Now in this showdown, I think it's safe to say the RLX is going to win, but the question is, win by how much? Just how close are these two Korean cars to the upper-level Japanese makes? And that's what we're here to find out. Now the base RLX starts around $48,000. The RLX Advance, like this one, has everything on it standard at $60,450 plus shipping. I won't read off all these items because we'd be here all day. Just suffice to say this was very well equipped. And a bit more than the Korean cars, of course. The only engine offered is a 3.5 liter, putting out 310 horsepower, rated at 21 to 30 miles per gallon. On paper, it's not much different from the Korean cars, but this is a very sophisticated, smooth-running engine. Far, far superior, as we'll see as we get driving it. So, how does it drive? Well, the steering is very light, but then again, it's quick and responsive, so most people will be happy. Cornerability is very good for such a large front-wheel drive car. Plenty of passing power. And the brakes work exactly the way they should, with a nice firm pedal feel. It's a very smooth ride on the street, but on these back gravel lots with lots of clumps and dips, I took it out here too, and it's still very smooth. Of course, it wasn't made to be on these type of roads. Very solid body structure. That was fun. The cabin has some positive features. The materials and workmanship are excellent. The leather is great. Smells like real leather, not plastic as on other cars. Lots of room in the back here. So if you have big friends, that won't be a problem. There's really no reason to have an owner's manual in the glove box. It takes up empty space. If you take it out along with this divider tray, you'll find there's plenty of room in the glove box. Now it's large and capable of holding just about anything. Little tip from me to you. On the positive side, the sound system sounds absolutely fantastic. You will not be disappointed with the sound. On the negative side, it's a pain in the butt to program. Without using the owner's manual, it took me a whole day to figure it out. With the owner's manual, I probably could have done it in 2 hours. However, it really shouldn't take more than 2 minutes. And if you're going to buy the car, it's not an issue because you'll probably be living with the car for 7 years, so what's 2 or 3 days? But still kind of a pain, so prepare yourself. Just a note on the air conditioning system, it works well most of the time, but in this very hot Arizona heat, it wasn't quite up to specs on certain hot days. In all fairness, the air conditioning was probably working too hard because this came delivered with black paint, which is fine for other climates, but not in a desert area like Arizona. It does heat up the interior quite a bit. To find out, I took this infrared thermometer, bounced the red dot off of my black car, and went down a parking lot and got some other vehicles. This Nissan with white paint job on the trunk measured 115 degrees. And on my vehicle with the black paint on the trunk, we're registering 149 degrees. I think that'd make a difference. The Acura really shines on the freeway where it's nice, comfortable ride and quiet body, excels, and you have lots of engine power for passing. Very nice for long trips. One thing about Honda and Acura, they make some of the sweetest engines on the planet. Great sounds at high RPM. Beautiful. We knew from the beginning that the $61,000 Acura was going to come out ahead of the $40,000 Koreans. On the other hand, if you don't have 61 grand for an Acura, those Koreans make a good alternative. They're very, very excellent cars, and the performance was very close. So you pay your money and you take your pick. All three are a good choice, though. Just a PS here, 85% of the parts on this vehicle are Japanese made, and 100% of the vehicle is assembled in Japan, which explains the excellent quality. I think that's worth a few extra bucks, don't you?